The Hall of Fame game is tonight, which means, of course, the Hall of Fame ceremonies are coming up as well. These four guys are going to get a gold jacket. Antonio Gates, Jared Allen, Sterling Sharp, Eric Allen. That's all going down in Canton, Ohio. That official ceremony will be at 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. I love that story that Pete Prisco had about Antonio Gates, saying he went to cover Kent State basketball. Antonio Gates was playing, and he said, hey, you're not going to be in the NBA. You're going to be a tight end in the NFL. And we're getting a look at 12 active players who are Hall of Fame locks. According to CBS Sports, there's an article right now on CBSSports.com, and it goes into it. But for the sake of this article, these are the 12 guys that they could retire today, and they would be an absolute lock for the Hall of Fame. We got two guys from the Chiefs, of course, and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. TJ Watt, Aaron Rodgers, still getting used to seeing his name next to a Steelers logo. Myles Garrett, Bobby Wagner, Von Miller, Mike Evans, because he puts up like 1,000 yards every single season. So we need to ask Emory Hunt if he agrees with this list. And we're going to get to that in just a moment, but let's welcome in Emory here. And we're starting, of course, with the two guys on the top, the two Chiefs players, and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Patrick Mahomes has 3 Super Bowl rings, and he's not even 30 years old yet, Emory. So when it's all said and done, I want to get your take here. Do you think he's going to end up as the best quarterback of all time in the NFL?
When we say all-time, Jacqueline, it is kind of gray area-ish, but I would say yes, because when you think about Patrick Mahomes and what you expect of him and his Chiefs, you always expect them not just to have a winning season, you literally expect them to get to the Super Bowl. The last time we thought about a guy like that, it was Tom Brady. And if he continues to play like he's played his entire career, then yes, he will have the amount of Super Bowls, he'll have the amount of Super Bowl appearances, and we'll look at him over Peyton Manning and maybe on the same tier as a Tom Brady, depending on how many championships he wins. But Patrick Mahomes really is the standard in today's game. Every time he's out there in a need-to-have-it moment, they end up answering the call. And when we talk about the Super Bowls and how he plays in those games and how he plays in the postseason and how everyone is gunning to try to knock him off the perch, yes, by the time it's all said and done, this guy is definitely one of those players we'll say, hey, make him the logo.
So Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, they're always compared and tied to one another. So Tom Brady has, what, 7 Super Bowl rings? When it's all said and done, do you think Patrick Mahomes surpasses that?
I think Tom Brady had an easier route to all of those rings as opposed to Patrick Mahomes. You got to look at, will Lamar Jackson get over the hump? Will Josh Allen get over the hump? Will Joe Burrow get over the hump? Those are some of the guys. And can he beat Jalen Hurts again, right? So I think this road of quarterback gauntlets that you have to go through to get to the top is a little bit tougher than Tom Brady's row of gauntlet that he had to go through, especially in the AFC. So I wouldn't say he'll hit 7, but he'll definitely play in 7 more Super Bowls.
Emory, we have some Patriots fans in the control room, so I'm just warning you now. I'm just a messenger that you might be receiving some angry text messages for that statement. I just want to give you a heads up. All right, back on track to the list. One of Patrick Mahomes' favorite weapons out there, we know it's no secret, it is Travis Kelce. And we just talked about this legendary tight end and Antonio Gates as being inducted this year and getting the gold jacket. But do you think Travis Kelce will be the greatest tight end of all time?
My football catalog goes all the way back, right? So my thing is, a lot of what we're talking about seems to be heavily recency bias because it's hard for me to get out the Antonio Gates, the Keith Jacksons, the Mike Dickers, the John Mackeys, those guys, the Charlie Sanders. You know, these are elite level tight ends, Kellen Winslow. I can go on and on. And so when we're thinking about the greatest ever, Rob Gronkowski, is Travis Kelce better than Rob Gronkowski? I know people will quickly, and it's a recency bias thing, they will quickly focus on the numbers and not understand the era he played in which he obtained those numbers and the impact that he has. He is definitely one of the all-time greats, but is he better than Shannon Sharp? Is he better than Mike Ditka, any one of these guys, Dave Casper, right? So that, to me, is a much loaded question as opposed to Tom Brady and also Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to say he's going to be amongst the greats, but there's too many great tight ends for me to say he's the best of the bunch.
All right, so the questions are just going to get a little bit tougher because Lamar Jackson, he is on this list with the top, 12 players, active players that if they retired today, they would be in the Hall of Fame. So Lamar Jackson, no Super Bowl title, but he is a 2-time MVP. If he retires today, Emory, is he a Hall of Famer in your eyes?
Absolutely. I grew up with the Sports Illustrated magazine, The Ultimate Weapon, with Randall Cunningham on the cover. And now we're living in what they expected Randall Cunningham to be in the terms of Lamar Jackson. And when you see Lamar Jackson, you understand what has come behind Lamar Jackson. He has really kicked down the door for guys that can play like him. Everyone is now looking for the next Lamar Jackson. So when you are reaching that point to where you are the standard that people are looking to go and get, that means you are already a Hall of Famer. I know I hate this phrase, but I'm about to use it anyway, Jacqueline. Can you tell the story of the NFL without Lamar Jackson? He's a 2-time MVP. He should be a 3-time MVP. And once he gets to Super Bowl, you're really going to say, okay, now we can push him into that conversation of some of the all-time greats. But I do feel like if he retired today with what his resume says, this dude is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I feel like it's the conversation is when he gets to a Super Bowl, when he gets to Super Bowl versus if at this point. It feels like it's inevitable for Lamar Jackson. Finally, this is a guy who is left off of that list, and we are talking about Mr. Unlimited himself in Russell Wilson. He's left off, and Emory, you said, quote, this is the most egregious omission. So the floor is yours, my friend, to air out all of your grievances here.
So I'm at practice, Giants practice, right? And I get this text about jumping on the show. So I look at the article and I'm looking down. I'm like, oh, this is a pretty solid list. And as I'm looking up in my nice creamsicle colored polo, I'm like, wait a minute. Man, why Russell Wilson not on this list? And so at the end of the day, when you think about someone, 8-time Pro Bowler, 350 passing touchdowns to 111 interceptions, 31 rushing touchdowns, and 5,400 rushing yards, to me, it screams easy Hall of Fame lock. He has a Super Bowl win. He has a Super Bowl appearance. He averages 8 yards an attempt. And in the postseason, has a 9-6 record over 8.8 yards an attempt throwing the football. So he plays his biggest in the biggest of games. And Russell Wilson really is a superstar. During his prime, he was putting up the same numbers as Aaron Rodgers, and we all look at Aaron Rodgers as the guy, right? And so when you think about Russell Wilson as well, 8 seasons with less than 10 interceptions. So this dude is putting up numbers consistently. He's a 10-time Pro Bowler. My bad. And he had 40 game-winning drives, and in the playoffs has 6 or 4 game-winning drives. So why is he not considered a Hall of Famer? I think people are using their personal opinion of Russell Wilson, the person, which is which is lame. I say on the field, he is someone that should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, how can you hate on Mr. Unlimited and the high knees? Come on, it gives him a little bit of character. Put some respect on Russell Wilson's name. By the way, he just said at camp today that he has no regrets about being Mr. Unlimited. I'm not delivering that line as well, and I'm not going to do it. Emory, we certainly appreciate it. Coming from Giants camp and hopping on to talk about some future Hall of Famers in the NFL. We got you covered here on CBS Sports HQ. News, highlights, scores. It is all here, and it is all for free.